up the dance. Oh, what a feeling. Don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't put it down. Shine your lights on.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Thanks for joining us for CVM News at Noon. It's Wednesday, April 15, 2026. I'm Amoy Harriet. Up first this afternoon, Transport Minister Darrell Vaz has announced that there will be a further increase in gas prices due to the war in the Middle East, which is affecting overall oil prices. Minister Vaz explained that the Petrojam Limited initially covered the increase but cannot afford to maintain that cost.
It means that the $4.50 cap cannot be sustained. And it means that we'll have to have several different tiers of caps, probably 3, that will speak to what's happening in the market. And as I said, its pricing is weekly, so it means that we can adjust on a weekly basis. But let me be blatantly, truthfully, upfront, in your face. The government of Jamaica cannot stomach $11.8 billion with all of what we have to do and the contending priorities. And anybody who tell you any different, I'm sure they will, after this press conference, rubbish. No government in a situation like this can sustain that. So my words to you, Jamaica, is definitively you are going to see increases as long as this continues. We will do what we can do.
Meanwhile, Minister of Labour and Social Security Colonel Charles Jr. has announced that restoration of owner-occupants family shelters roofs program is in its reconciliation phase. Minister Charles explained that the allocation of $10 billion to the roofs program has been allocated mostly to households that has been badly or severely damaged, with only $1 billion given to minor damage.
Even if I were to teleport somewhere, pick up $10 billion, come back, we would not be able, Minister, to make any further payments to any beneficiary right now, because we have completed the payments to all eligible, verified beneficiaries. Does that mean that the persons listening who have not gotten have been forgotten? No. What it means is that for one reason or the other, you are still in the process of being evaluated up to verification. Let me give you...
In the meantime, the government says its roofs program is supporting hurricane recovery while boosting local businesses. Minister Colonel Charles Jr. says the digital system is improving delivery despite some challenges. Kevin Black explains.
Following Hurricane Melissa, Minister of Labour and Social Security Colonel Charles Jr. says the government's roof program is supporting both recovery and economic activity. The initiative helps families repair homes while also boosting local businesses through a digital voucher system.
It's not just about handing over a voucher for somebody to redeem cash. It's also the positive impact in terms of commercial activity, the positive impact in terms of jobs and work experience, and overall comprehensive impact for national development. Here in Clarendon, what we have seen is a number of persons who have been able to facilitate repair of their homes by coming here.
Businesses are reporting increased sales and job opportunities under the program. The minister says the system is also providing skills and work experience.
I mean, we anticipated from the start that there would be glitches. This is the first time. We are the pioneers in terms of implementing this digital system. So as we go through, our goal is to become more efficient. And efficiency requires you to open your ears and listen and learn and adjust. And we've done that rapidly.
He adds that the digital platform has improved payment speeds and coordination between suppliers and beneficiaries.
This system does not allow us to pay out unless there is verification. When we are scrutinized, we can hold up our heads high and say the Ministry of Labour and Social Security opens its doors to all audits because we can account for what we have done with that initial $10 billion, and we will be asking for more.
Kevin Black reporting for CVM News. Following
Kingston Mayor Andrew Swaby is warning that inadequate funding from the central government is hampering road repairs. In his address to the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation monthly meeting on Tuesday, Mayor Swaby said some roads under the One Road Authority will transition from the municipalities to the central government.
Primary challenge in affecting road maintenance across the island has always been inadequate funding. There is also no clear indication of how local authorities will access increased allocation from central government to effectively maintain and rehabilitate roads under our care.
Meanwhile, Deputy Mayor at the Hanover Municipal Corporation, Andrea Dehaney, is appealing to the government and the National Works Agency to consider resurfacing the section of the North Coast Highway leading from Montego Bay through to Negril in Westmoreland. She further highlighted that this section of the North Coast Highway is the main roadway from the Sangster International Airport to Negril. She says the deteriorated roadway poses continuing challenges to motorists and is calling for it to be resurfaced.
Our road infrastructure was really not the best of the lot from the beginning. And then since Hurricane Melissa, you would have seen where the surfaces of the roads have been eroded tremendously. When you think of even the main road that we're looking on, if you ask me from Montego Bay, Great River Bridge there, heading to Negril, we need a total rehabilitation of that roadway. We have been trying to patch it for over the years, but when you look at it now, the time has come for it to get a total resurfacing.
It's time for a break. News at Noon continues in a moment.
Stylist, no scam and style me.
From the market to the farm to the office, money talk is everywhere. But are you making sense or nonsense? The Bank of Jamaica brings you common sense with BOJ, real stories, real laughs, and real lessons to help you protect, grow, and manage your money. Mattress savings.
At least my mattress. No charge me to sleep on it.
Partner plan.
Remember last year we needed our payouts early? But Miss Pam gave it to her cousin first.
Or a sketchy loan flyer.
Electrifying deals.
See why making the right financial choices is pure common sense. Brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, empowering everyday Jamaicans one episode at a time.
Grandpa, it's 2026. You can't keep hiding all your money in every single pocket forever.
Every dream conquered is another dream gained. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction. 'Cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard. And the music keeps on playing, and the people that I say we are mash up the night. Oh, what a feeling! Don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing.
Welcome back to CVM News at Noon. We go now to news overseas. China has warned that U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to mount a naval blockade of Iran's ports is, quote, dangerous and irresponsible, and threatens the recent ceasefire in the Middle East. The U.S. Navy has begun blocking the Strait of Hormuz following the failure of peace talks between American and Iranian negotiators in Pakistan. U.S. Central Command says it has prevented any ships from passing through the strait since it began the blockade. We hear more from the BBC.
Poised offshore, at a safe distance from Iran's coastline, US Navy warships like this are enforcing America's blockade of Iran's ports, hoping to pressure Iran to meet Washington's demands by choking off its sea trade. The US says it's turned round at least 6 vessels due to their links with Iran. Tanker traffic is close to a standstill. This map shows tankers in red, general cargo in green. As you can see, most are going nowhere. During the first 24 hours, says US Central Command, no ships have made it past the US blockade, and 6 merchant vessels complied with direction from US forces. China and Russia's foreign ministers have been meeting today to discuss the Iran crisis. They're both allies of the Islamic Republic. China has condemned the US blockade.
This will only aggravate confrontation, escalate tension, undermine the already fragile ceasefire, and further jeopardize safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz. It is a dangerous and irresponsible move.
China has warships like these in the region. It's a major customer for Iran's oil, and it's unlikely to put up for long with this US-imposed blockade.
At what point does China then go, okay, well, we can now board some American flagships somewhere else in the world? So the risk of escalation is there. The risk of miscalculation is very high. And I think if there's a Chinese warship sitting off that tanker, I can't envisage a situation where you would board it. So then your blockades fail.
So for now, ships carrying oil and gas from the Gulf are still largely stuck. Only a trickle are getting out into the ocean. Only when that situation is resolved could the US blockade be judged a success.
Let's head to a break. We'll have more when we return.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yeah. Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Watagwan. Watagwan.
Datagwan.
Watagwan.
Watagwan. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 10 p.m. on CVM TV.
Datagwan pa Watagwan.
Welcome back to CVM News at noon. As Jamaica's tourism sector continues to grow, there is increasing focus on community tourism as a way to spread the benefits beyond traditional resort areas. The tourism product development company TPDCO is now marking 30 years of enhancing the island's tourism offering with greater emphasis on empowering local communities. But how can community tourism be better developed? And what support systems are needed to ensure its success? Joining us now is TPDCO's Community Tourism Manager, Desmond Saunders. Good afternoon, Mr. Saunders.
Hi, good afternoon, Miss Harriet. Thanks for having me.
Community tourism. Explain to our viewers what exactly this means and how important is this to Jamaica's tourism industry?
Right, so community tourism in very simple language is us as locals looking around our communities and identifying different either places of interest or assets, whether it is a tradition, whether it is a physical thing, whether it is just plants, different things that have some amount of interest and appeal that we can then use to lure, visitors, whether locals or foreigners alike, to our community so that there can be some amount of economic benefit. But these products are owned by the community, so it's offered and owned by the community.
So after 30 years, how exactly is the TPDCO approaching, or how exactly has your approach to community tourism evolved over the last 3 decades?
Right, so community tourism is something that has existed in Jamaica for some time, and the Ministry of Tourism since 2015 has promulgated the National Community Tourism Policy and Strategy that the TPDCO is in charge of implementing. And so TPDCO, since that policy has come into being, has been working with our partners in the industry as well as our locals on the ground to identify these assets in their community. We help them with marketing, product development, branding, training, pretty much everything you can think about to get their community idea from just an idea to something that's viable and can be exported internationally.
So what are some of the main challenges, though, that the communities face in pretty much developing tourism products, and how exactly is TPDCO helping to address this?
Right. So one of the main challenges we have, or we see when we, interface with these community stakeholders, is capacity. So, community tourism relies on the skill sets that exist within whichever community is of focus. And so if you are, say, for example, primary school educated or high school educated, but what is requested of you is to come up with a business plan, for example, that would be a very difficult thing to do. So we fill in the gap where that is concerned. And we also pull in our other ministries, departments, and agencies to come in and to assist these communities. So whatever it is, so we do business plan writing, we help to identify tour, we map different assets, we offer training programs in Team Jamaica, that's our flagship training. We also do tour guide skills training, customer service excellence, and we also outsource training depending on the need. We also help to write grant proposals, because we understand that financial resources are important to drive any sort of project. And so we help to identify these grant projects and help the community members to write for them as well.
For local residents and small businesses, though, how exactly can they become more involved and benefit directly from tourism? How can the regular man get a footing in the industry?
Right. I'm really happy you asked that question. So community tourism for grassroots stakeholders. It is for the local man. It's for our micro and small tourism enterprises that want to see some amount of development in their own livelihoods as well as their community. Getting involved is very simple. You can reach out to us at TPDCO. We will help you to identify if there is a viable product here, if there's something that can be developed and offered as a product. The end goal is for you to earn so that you, your family, and your community can benefit. And I can give you some contact numbers, contact details for that.
Yes, please. I can provide that for our viewers.
All right. So if you think there's something, interesting about your community that can, be a viable product, you can reach out to us at community.tourism community.tourism@tpdco.org. So that's community.tourism@tpdco.org, or reach out to our phone lines. I think I have it here. It is 876, let me just get it for you, 876-968-3441.
And Mr. Saunders, training and certification, what role does that play in ensuring that community-based tourism actually meets international standards? Because that's important.
Definitely. So one of TPDCO's primary purposes is called quality assurance. We want to ensure that the quality of the product being put out there for visitors both in our country and from overseas to enjoy is of a particular standard. And so we have a product quality and training department that focuses on that aspect. Training is a baseline requirement, so all tourism workers and stakeholders are required to start off with the Team Jamaica Tourism training program, and that is for tourism awareness, understanding industry, understanding our culture, understanding issues within industry that you would need to navigate. And then you can move on to other programs like our tour guide skills program, or you can move on to customer service. And we also have different levels. We also have level 2 of Team Jamaica and so forth for persons who are like in management. So training is very, very important, and it is one of the interventions that we offer to all stakeholders across the board.
Can you pinpoint specific examples where community tourism was a success here in Jamaica?
Oh, definitely. So I can tell you two. I'll tell you the first one is Treasure Beach. So Treasure Beach was a fishing village for many years, and then in very small pockets, different community persons started to offer tours, to offer food, to offer accommodation, and right now they pride themselves as the home of community tourism in Jamaica, and they're really a model that different Caribbean islands and countries in the region look to. We also have the Catadupa Heritage and Eco Tours in St. James that is one of the emerging products. Catadupa would have benefited in the past from the Appleton, the tourism train that ran from Montego Bay to Appleton Estate. And when that ended, the community really significantly declined in terms of economic activities. So since 2021, we have been working very closely with Catadupa, and now they have a viable, exportable tourism product, which include tours, it includes gastronomy, it includes entertainment, and so much to see.
And just before you go, Mr. Saunders, what more needs to be done, whether by government, private sector, or even communities, to fully unlock the potential of community tourism here in Jamaica?
So I would say funding is one of the number one things that is needed. Community tourism is a thrust that is being embarked upon by people who really don't have the resources. As we know, any business requires some amount of capital. And so funding is definitely something that we need for our community stakeholders. That would be number one for me.
What about digital payment? That's always been a strong talking point where tourism is concerned.
Right. So we have a part of our national community tourism policy is to do some amount of digital transformation. And that includes, compatibility with certain e-payment platforms, as well as using point of sale machines and online booking and that sort of thing. And so it is something that we definitely are targeting to do. We just need, to find the necessary resources to do so.
All right, thank you so much. That was Desmond Saunders, who's Community Tourism Manager at the Tourism Product Development Company, TPDCO. Thanks so much again, Mr. Saunders.